Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today we're taking a look at DC Universe Young Justice 6-inch figures. Obviously we're taking a look at Red Arrow. This is a figure I've been wanting to get for quite some time from the Young Justice. And I find myself buying more of the Young Justice figures as I'm able to find them. Initially, like I said, I was only going to do Batman and Robin. And I just saw that we're going to get a Batman 6-inch figure, which is going to be very nice. A new body sculpt all the way around, so very excited about that. And I thought, well, I'll just pick up the figures that I really want, and I just bought another one today. So we will be doing Aqualad right after this guy is over. In the show, Roy, Red Arrow, has a smaller part. He's hit and miss throughout the episodes. He is in episode 1 and sporadically throughout some other ones. And he was telling the Young Justice members and the Justice League that there is a mole in the organization. And he might be the mole. A little bit of a spoiler there. I don't believe he knows it. In the last episode of the Young Justice, he is up for, since he is 18, he's up for full membership of the Justice League that they were recently voting on. At the end of the episode, we have not heard if he's going to be part of the Justice League yet. I imagine we'll get that this Saturday. Tune into the Cartoon Network and find out. There's a little plug for Cartoon Network. So, enough rambling, Rob. Let's hear you read some more. And it says here, having oppressed Green Arrow with his bow-handling skills, Orphan Roy Harper became the Emerald Archer's ward and sidekick Speedy. Upon turning 18, Roy felt driven to achieve something more, choosing to go solo as Red Arrow. And of course, in the comic book series right now, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Roy is going by the name Arsenal, which I believe he has gone by before the New 52. He's also been Red Arrow, obviously. But they chose to keep Red Arrow as the name for Roy in the Young Justice cartoon series. So very much the same package here as we've seen from the Robin review, if you saw that one. That says there's 5 weapons. Robin came with 7 weapons. And I saw Aqualad's box also says there's 7. So they downgraded a couple weapons. But there you go. This is how he looked in the package. I thought that was such a cool pose that they had him in. I think this is how I'm going to have him on my shelf. So get a look at the base here. Very much the same color scheme as Robin's base. Now, right away, some of you may be saying, hey, I didn't know he came with a string. I saw somebody else's review. As you could tell, this is a rubber band. They had talked about putting a string or something on here. If you could see in Roy's hand here, Red Arrow's hand, there's this little plastic piece that they tied the arrow to, which I've also decided I'm going to leave that on there just for posing purposes. I did initially have this little plastic piece, but it started to tear once I pulled it back. I thought, you know, they do have eyelets here, so why not put a rubber band in here and it'll actually look like he is pulling the bow and arrow back. So, thought that was kind of slick on my part there. I heard somebody else say they were going to do it. And somebody said it was for safety reasons why they don't put this piece on there anymore. I've got Green Arrow here off to the side as I hit the camera. You know, he has this piece and the arrow is fastened on here. So that's kind of a drag. Can't get back in the real pose that Roy can. He's got his quiver back here with the arrows molded in. Has really, really good articulation. All the normal DCUC articulation points. He does a full 360 at the head, can go up and down slightly. His collar kind of prohibits that. Does have the ab crunch here. As you can tell, his legs go in and out, swivel, bend at the foot, the thigh. I'm not really moving the figure from his pose as a random dog barking. I don't think I had that in frame there when I did that, and his foot moves there. think I was just holding him here. I'm like, hey, if it moves in and out. He probably said, Rob, we can't see what you're doing. So, his pieces here, part of his belt, are separate molded on pieces. And don't you just want to smack a barking dog that just barks and barks and barks? Maybe Roy can go out there and shoot him in the rear with an arrow. Like I said, this arrow, it does come off. You know, I could take off the plastic band here. He does have the, you know, archer grip there. I'm kind of being a tool with this review. Maybe saying, Rob, we'd like to see him stand up straight. I'm afraid if I start moving this around too much, the plastic band will fall off and I won't get him to hold his arrow well. I'm sure I could easily put that back on. His foot here, though, does look like... We'll actually get him to go straight here. Get him to go straight? That sounded weird. I guess it doesn't look as bad right now that he's standing. But initially it did look like his foot was bent a little bit. Now that we got Roy here, I'm going to put him back in his pose here. Just thought that was really cool. Take a look at his base. Has Sportsmaster on there, and here are his 3 arrows. It said 5. Of course, the one that's on the quiver, or is on the bow, was 4, and they're actually counting the bow as a weapon, which, you know, it obviously is. So there are the 5. And these just fit right in these little dots here. Of course, I can't get it in there. Actually, only 2 of them do. So it can look like red arrow has shot the target. Stupid dog. So this one does not fit anywhere, but this one looks like an axe. You have like a ball and spike and just a normal arrow. This one you could think it'd be a gas arrow as such, but I think it's very cool. Of course, if you have him posed like they did in the box or even on the stand, could look like Roy was having some target practice there and then decided to take a shot at something. And we could have green arrow right here, so they're fighting side by side. I actually prefer this red arrow over the DC UC. I think it's wave 19 red arrow, or is it wave 20? I'm not exactly sure. Let me know in the comments down below. I didn't like the face sculpt on that red arrow, and the basic red arrow is just a repaint of green arrow here with a different head, and he's got this really cheesy grin to his face, and I just didn't care for it at all. The green arrow is actually really pretty cool. It's a new sculpt, new head, new body. He's got the hood on the top. So I might be picking up that red arrow, but for the time being, I already have a red arrow, and these two actually look really good together. So I have an Aquaman, and I just purchased Aqualad from the Young Justice, so I'm kind of curious to see Aqualad and Aquaman together, and hopefully they look as good together as these two do. So I'm very happy with this red arrow. For me, for my money, if you're thinking about buying a red arrow, even though this red arrow isn't actually in his correct costume and taking some liberties with the Young Justice costume, I think this is a far better figure than the red arrow that we're getting from Wave 20 for the DCUC. That's just my opinion. I mean, he's nice that he's all red, but the face just is really a bummer for me. So I passed him and saw this one and thought, you know what? I like the Young Justice cartoon series. It comes with this cool base, and the nice thing about the base, as I'm talking here, we will bring in Robin, is that the two bases can go together. This one looks a little bit more dingy than what this one is. I don't know if it's just the type of plastic that they used, but move the camera back out of the way. We've got Robin over there. the two bases actually look really good together. So you could have Robin and Red Arrow here fighting something, and we're getting a Batman that's going to come with a stand, a base as well, a rooftop. Now it's not the brown red brick here like these two. That would have been really nice if it was, but it's going to be gray, but that one's going to be much taller, so you could actually have that in the background here with Batman on top of it. Or you could have Batman and a red arrow there if you, or a green arrow, excuse me, if you choose to do so. But there you go, move Robin out of the way. And all I'm thinking about, I'm looking at the arrow here. I brought out one of Green Arrow's. I cannot remember for the life of me what that Green Arrow is. I got him in an all-star pack. But you can see how small Green Arrow's arrows are compared to Red Arrows. Granted, it's for the cartoon series, so they're a little bit bigger, a little more cartoony, but I like this bigger size arrow. I think it works really well with the figure. So, anyway, that is the review for Red Arrow. Like I said, I apologize for if somebody's wanting me to see me, bend the figure all the way around, but this is generally how I'm going to have him standing. Like I said, take a little rubber band here, and there's little eyelets that you can see here. So if you do get this Red Arrow, and by the way, I think this is one of the best bows any bow people have. The arrow, like hopefully you saw there, can pop right in there. It'll hold it. Artemis's bow does have two molded pieces here. So I don't know if they are able to do a bow that way again or not, but I don't think she can hold her arrow on her. So hopefully maybe I'll pick her up one of these days. But as always, that's enough rambling, Rob. Stop talking. This has been taking a look at Red Arrow from the Young Justice 6-inch line that comes with the nice diorama. Now some people are like, oh, I don't have to have a diorama. I think that's pretty cool. Yes, it does take up a little bit of extra space, but I have some of my other characters right behind here. I have a Superman that I have him standing up here, so it looks like he's getting ready to fly off the rooftop. So there you are. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues signing off and saying we will see you guys next time.